Hello, and welcome back to our series on the history of artificial intelligence. In this part of our series, we are going to talk about the present of AI. And by present here, we mean from the year 2000 until the year 2024. In the previous part of the series, we divided our timeline in periods of decades or 10 years. In this part, we are going to divide the developments into blocks of 4 years. Starting in the year 2000 until approximately the year 2004, we had a number of very important milestones in the field. The first concept I want to talk about here in the present of artificial intelligence is the concept of big data. The Gartner's group proposed 3 V's to define the dimensions and properties of big data. And the 3 V's are volume, velocity, and variety. If you search the web or the literature, you see people adding more V's to the 3 V's of big data. For example, veracity, value, and even other V's. But the core of big data in terms of the characteristics, the dimensions, and the properties of big data, we can reduce them to these 3 V's. However, big data is not only about the data. Big data also involves the hardware infrastructure necessary for you to store and process this data, and the software necessary to do the analysis of all this data. Another very important development in artificial intelligence in the first years of the present of the area was the proposal of the challenges involving autonomous vehicles. And this was sponsored by the National Defense Agency of the United States. They had different challenges. They started with the challenge of autonomous vehicles in a desert. They had to cover wide desertic terrain using these fully autonomous vehicles. And then they also released the challenge of an urban circuit for the vehicles. We also had, during those first years, the proposal of MapReduce. MapReduce was a technology, was a framework for us to divide big packages of data so that they could be processed in parallel. And Honda started the project involving their humanoid robot. And this project lasted for almost 2 decades until it was discontinued by the company. In the following 4 years, we had some very important developments in the field of deep neural networks, such as the one that is illustrated here. Is a network with a large number of hidden layers. They had some major developments from 2006, and they've been evolving from there to now very rapidly. Deep neural networks played a very important role for us by making us capable of solving mainly computer vision and natural language processing tasks that with other types of networks we were incapable of solving. So they've been playing this very important role of bringing real breakthroughs, mainly in the field of pattern recognition, computer vision, natural language processing, and others. We also had, in the year 2006, the launch by IBM of the Watson project. And the Watson is a sort of general artificial intelligence. It was released in the year 2006 and is an ongoing project until today. And here I am showing you the different stages of development of this project, from research and development to demonstration, commercialization, expansion, and cross-industry applications. This graph shows the market value of Intel when compared to NVIDIA. And the reason why I decided to bring it to you here was because there came a time by the year 2020 when NVIDIA became a company more valuable than Intel. And the main reason is because NVIDIA produces GPU, which are graphical processing units, that are very efficient for the processing of deep neural networks and also for mining Bitcoin. And many people believe that the demand of this type of technology, of this type of hardware, was very much increased due to the developments in deep neural networks and consequently the developments in artificial intelligence, and also the developments of the blockchain, mainly for mining Bitcoin and other types of crypto assets. In the following 4 years, we had more development on deep neural networks. Here I'm showing you a convolutional neural network. We also had, again, an intelligent machine beating humans in a competition. In this case, it was in the Jeopardy match. We had the developments here of the personal assistants, mainly for mobile applications. So we had the development of Cortana, Google Now, Siri, and Alexa. And we also had the development of Kinetic, which, although it is an artificial intelligence in itself, but it promoted the development of a number of techniques involving AI because it was basically a system capable of identifying the movement of people. And to do this identification and to process this identification, you have a lot of AI embedded in applications that use signals from Kinetic. In the following years, between 2013 and 2016, we had the Google DeepMind company winning the AlphaGo game, world champion of the AlphaGo game. We had more developments on deep neural networks, and it was when the government started looking at everything that was going on in AI, and they started planning how they were going to participate in this process. In 2017, we had the publication of the first national AI strategy by the government of Canada. And that was when many governments realized that they had to develop strategies in order to win the race, or at least to become competitive in the race for the development and application of artificial intelligence solutions. In this period, one thing that made artificial intelligence grow very quickly was the fact that many technologies, many frameworks, many libraries were developed and released so that anyone could use. When all this technology became open source, the field exploded, AI exploded. And this is because instead of developing these techniques and keeping them as an industrial or company secret, when you allow anyone that wants to use these technologies, you allow that new developments, new solutions that were not thought about or were not of interest of those creators or of those proponents, they allow that they can be devised, right? So this promoted a very fast expansion of the field of artificial intelligence in the last years. And the developments in deep neural networks were so impressive and so remarkable and so important that some of the researchers who were pioneers or who presented relevant contributions to the field received the so-called Turing Award. And the Turing Award is an award in the area of computing, which is equivalent to the Oscar for the movies, for the movie industry. When you see people like Benjy, Hinton, and LeCun receiving an award which is at the level of an Oscar for their developments in deep learning. And this means that these developments were really a milestone, were really a landmark for this field. And to finish this present of artificial intelligence, we have a number of things going on. There is a strong hype in the use of generative models, mainly the large language models, but not only these ones. We have a strong discussion about the ethics of artificial intelligence and many companies emerging and growing very quickly. This very same image was generated by prompting one of these generative models that we have available. To this one, I use the Copilot in Bing. I want to finish this part by discussing with you why I personally do see artificial intelligence now as a big trend, and differently from what happened in the 70s and in the early 80s, which was the AI winter. We saw that the AI winter was caused mainly because there was this hype we didn't have enough data, we didn't have enough technology, we didn't have communication technology. So it lacked many pieces in this big jigsaw, which is the development of new technologies that we nowadays do have. So when we look at the computing and the technological environment nowadays, what we see is abundant computing power that you can simply rent computing power, computing processing, and computing storage based on your necessity. We have connectivity. All devices can be connected. Virtually all devices can be connected nowadays. We have plenty of data. We have algorithms that we didn't have before, like the deep neural networks and other types of AI solutions. When we have technologies that are open, that any one of us can use, can apply, and can develop over. So these are the reasons why I believe that AI is growing quickly, but it's going to grow even quicker because we have the necessary ingredients to keep it moving, differently from what we had in the past when we had a lot of limitations and a lot of expectations. Nowadays, we have a lot of expectations, but we have much less limitations than we had at that time. That's the message I wanted to bring you in the present of artificial intelligence. Thank you for watching and see you in our next part of this series.